Hi, everyone. Let me turn this down just a little bit more. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me move this. Everything's a little like discombobulated. um, Hi guys. It's so nice to see you all or chat with you all rather. Um, we have a few people. Just a reminder, I do the community read first with the oracle that I chose, and then I get into the tarot readings. So I'm gonna read off the queue just so while I do the community read, you guys can see if you made the list. If not, just rejoin. Sometimes Streamlabs just has brain farts. So what can I say? So we have Ari, Libra, Anj, Midnight, Aiko, and Unicorn Rainbows in the queue. If you didn't hear your name, use exclamation point join to join the queue. All right, so we're going to be doing the tarot readings with the Wisdom of the Pooh Tarot. This is by Serafina Mesa. She's so lovely. She's a local indie creator. I just love her work. And then this is the Divine Blessings by Britta Bowman. She's also an indie creator. You can find her stuff on Etsy. All right, let me get the deck all shuffled. I hope you guys are having a really good week so far and good have some fun stuff planned for the weekend. I don't know. Um let's just see what kind of divine blessings we have. I really love this deck. She has some other decks that I really like, but I'm on a sort of low buy year in terms of tarot, and I kickstarted like 3 things recently. So your girl is not buying any more decks, but I do like them. They're on my list. All right, let's see what kind of energy we have around us this weekend. As we go into this weekend, rather. All right, our first card. Ooh, lovely. We have purpose. So it says, and sorry, you gotta bring it close because of the font. Listen to your soul and follow your inner guidance. You are here for a reason. You are an integral part of the bigger picture. Your purpose brings meaning to your life as well as others. Oh, I love this card. I feel like this week has been really, really long for me and just kind of stressful. It makes me like really rethink the choices I've made over the past year and just my position in things. And just seeing this card is very reassuring. So, this next card is renewal. Renewal is a process of revitalizing and refreshing your mind, body, and soul. Let go of old patterns and limitations and open yourself up to new possibilities and perspectives. So I feel like this so far is starting to form as a community. Like, how can we rediscover our purpose? And I don't think it has to be a singular thing. It can be a singular thing if that's like what's important right now, but I don't want it to be something limiting. Like, I don't want this concept of a purpose to be a limiting um thought or ideal. But I think that in order to do that and to open yourself up to discovering what that thing is, the thing that you kind of feel like is missing, is this renewal card here, where you just feel like you can kind of take a breath, take a break, and just feel a little rejuvenated. And I think that calmness allows your mind to open up and you find that clarity that you need in terms of this purpose card. So we have our last card, which is decision. This card is it says, make decisions with your heart in the present moment. Use your mind to make choices that align with your values and goals. Be decisive and proactive in this situation. So this really, I feel like, drives home the point, right? So your goal here is focus, finding that focus, finding whatever purpose you feel like is in the now. This doesn't have to be the end all be all, but in order to do that, you need to focus on like that renewal, that rejuvenation, just that rest and reset. I feel like this is the perfect season to do that, where things start to feel real liminal. You can start to connect with yourself a little better. And then based off of that, being able to open yourself up to this calmness allows your mind to find the clarity it needs um to make the right decisions for what you need right now. These decisions, just know, like, this is what you need right now. This is a community read. This isn't supposed to be the decision that's gonna end all other decisions. It's just to help you get moving, you start to get some momentum under your belt, especially if you've been feeling like you have just been a little lost lately in that regard. So I'm gonna put these off to the side. Remember, I will do extra cards if you use my tip link in the description. Um, and I'm gonna get these all shuffled. Make sure I have this deck oriented correctly. Okay. All right. Ari, go ahead, put your question in the chat while we wait for that. While we wait for that, I'm gonna reread through the list because we had some people join, and if you don't hear your name, make sure you use exclamation point join to join the queue. So we have Ari is up now, followed by Libra, Anj, Midnight, Aiko, Unicorn. So let me see. Let me scroll up real quick. I have Kaime, but I don't have. Oh, I have Kaime. I have Mindful Mind, but I don't have Natty Nat or Alana. So try joining again. I don't know why it's being a butt. Sometimes it just does that. It's okay. So Natty Nat, I'll get you right before Luke. And then I believe Ari. Okay, Luna. My cat's being a butt. She wants attention. Oh, it's probably, hold on. I know what it is. It's because it's because I maxed the queue out at 8. It's like a default setting in Streamlabs. Which is funny because it got people after you. So I don't know why I did that. But, if I understood the ghost in the machine, I could retire today. Ari, can you pick a different question? Why your friends are doing whatever they want to do is their business. I don't do third-party readings. And they are not here to consent to being read upon. Come on. Come on, Luna. There we go. All right. The true star of the show is here. Say hi. No? Okay. Thank you. I can see what energy you're giving off. Actually, I'll help you rephrase. So I can see what kind of energy you're giving off that's being received by people and see if that's affecting it. If that is something that you're looking for, if you feel like that's the crux of what you're getting at. But honestly, I'll say that a lot of people right now, I think, have just been struggling in terms of just honestly everything. So I think I honestly doubt that it's anything malicious unless they're hanging out with each other and not you. Okay, we can see what's going on with this situation. Let's see what's going on with your friends. Sorry if it sounds like I have some butterfingers over here. I have a cat on my lap and she likes to take up space. All right, let's see what kind of cards you have. Alrighty, next card. All right, one more. Whoop. All right. So we have the King of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Wands, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I love this. So I have a lot of court cards. We have two knights and a king here. The kings of the court cards are really like the leaders of the courts. They really have their eye on their kingdom. They are the leaders of their domain and they are trying to manage the things that are going on there. Whereas the knights are the action oriented ones. So they are the members of the court that are taking action towards specific goals, specific ideals, specific ambitions. So in this case, we have the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, which you said that your friends are working a lot. The Pentacles have to deal with a lot of the physical of our world. So our work and our home life. So things are clearly the focus, or honestly, probably you too. The focus has been a lot on work and what work is going to look like and what things look like now and how they can shape them in the future and what goals they can set to get there. So it's kind of, this looks very much like what I would call like the grinding hustle phase of things, where they have some things in motion and they're trying to get things done. And sometimes people just become a little singularly focused on stuff that's important at the moment. And I mean, let's be honest, we live in late stage capitalism. So, it's hard to not want to work all the time. And we have two knights and a king. So being a bit of a workaholic isn't far fetched here. So here we have the Knight of Wands, which he's the most impulsive knight out of all of the knights. A lot of fire energy here. The knights imbue fire, the wands are fire. So this is a lot of movement, a lot of things that are changing. And sometimes people just don't have their heads on straight and they just they have a goal, they focus on it, they have a new goal, they focus on that. And if you don't make a concerted effort to be part of that picture, then you kind of fall to the wayside. It's not malicious, it's just kind of human nature depending on people's characters. And I will say, like, one of the things missing here is like any ounce of communication. So if you're feeling a certain kind of way and they're friends, especially long-standing friends, then you have to make a concerted effort to say, like, hey, I feel like we're neglecting our relationship. Someone has to be the spark of communication in regard to this. But honestly, if some people just are going through phases where they don't have free time, it kind of sucks as an adult. It's one of the things that I think we all eventually go through, because as we transition out of school phase into like early career phase into middling career, and you start to realize the amount of effort a lot of these things take. So this is up to you what you want to do with this, right? So when I give readings, I really like to give power and onus to people that are being read for. So if this is something that's important to you, then like I said before, there's like that communication element missing, and maybe that is the next step to see if there is a possibility that they can take some more time for you. Even if that means like setting up a group calendar and you guys adhere to it, whatever that looks like. Um, I feel like that's so millennial of me to be like, oh, set up a Google calendar. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing malicious going on. They're focusing on their own lives. It's not for not wanting to deal with you. It's just we live in a time where like hustle culture is a thing, and it unfortunately is what it is. And you need to decide how you're going to navigate around it, and like what kind of friendship boundaries, I'll say, will be put in place. Yeah. I mean, I love a good Google Calendar, honestly. Or a Facebook calendar. I don't know. What are the kids using nowadays? Discord. Hi, Marshy. Welcome. Yeah, honestly, I will say like so people do not talk about enough how hard it is to make friends as like an adult when you're not forced to be in proximity to people. Sometimes you have to make a concerted effort to do things in order to make friends. And I mean, I have friends that like in college that I used to be like we used to go out all the time, and then they had kids and I don't, and we both work, and then I moved, and then they moved, and it's just it sucks, but you know. Libra Queen, you're up next. But yeah, unicorn, I really like that suggestion. Joining like, you know, common social circles. Like I know you like to go to the gym, so having like gym buddies where you guys, meet up at specific times to do workouts or, challenges or whatever. Hey, Paulo. Yeah, Marshy, the queue is still open. You should be able to join. Friendships are hard as adults. I feel like they don't prepare us enough for that. Luna. Alrighty. Queen, if you come back, you can rejoin the queue. Anj, you are up next. Marshy, it didn't it did alert you. Nice. Okay. The one whining is Apollo Midnight. The one on my lap she was on my lap. That was Luna. Yeah, Ari, honestly, I mean, back in my day, we had meetup.com. It was super fun. And that's how I met a lot of my friends when I first moved away from home. Um, and then Facebook has so many niche groups, and they will literally, like, if you find a local group, they'll plan like local events. It's really fun. All right, let's see, Anj. Let's see if you'll meet your future spouse abroad when you go see your family. One more card. All right, last card. Here we go. All right. We have the Six of Swords. We have the Nine of Wands. And then we have the King of Swords. Mm. Let me sit with this for a second. How long are you staying there? How so I want to say yes, but I always like to caveat, you know, the future is nebulous and you're asking a future question. So I want to say yes. It seems you're on the right path for that to happen. So we have the Six of Swords. It feels like, I mean, if you look at the imagery, literally, it feels very much like a journey, your trip abroad. And yeah, see, that's okay. So in the middle of your reading, you have the Nine of Wands. Well, swords and wands are very fast moving energy. That's why I was wondering, like, is this going to be like a really like just suddenly stumble upon kind of situation, like the cliche Hallmark kind of movies. So I feel like, this is indicating as you go along your journey of seeing your family, this is going to be a bit of literal of you literally going abroad and traveling, but there's also the aspect of this Six of Swords where you're leaving specific baggage behind. You're kind of going on this trip um with nothing weighing you down, so to speak. And with the Nine of Wands here, it's interesting because I feel like there's going to be a little bit of hmm, like a lot of energy that happens once you get there, and a lot of different things are happening. And with the Nine of Wands specifically, nines are like that precipice of finishing like a cycle, which seems really, really fun in this aspect because wands are very much fire, swords are very much air, and it's very fueling. So there's a lot of movement that happens. So when you're here, I feel like you're probably not going to notice it at first, but and then I'm going to describe this person, right? We have the King of Swords. King of Swords. Honestly, like high key, I really love the King of Swords as like a sciencey math and science person. The King of Swords is really cerebral, very thoughtful. Really someone who can be a little hard to connect with emotionally, but you connect with intellectually. And then the emotional side of the Kings comes through a little bit later, but also it's person. I don't like to describe people with tarot because I personally don't feel like I'm that good at it. Or at least I haven't gotten enough feedback to gauge it. But the Kings give me very much more mature and established energy where they feel like they know what they're doing, they know where they're going. It doesn't mean that they're like rich or like famous or anything like that. It just means like they have a good head on their shoulders, and they have a level of maturity that you would expect of a partner that can support you emotionally and intellectually. So even though I'm saying the King of Swords, not so much the emotional type, still very much the thoughtful, wise, intellectual type. So as you're going through this, so after now that I described this person, as you're going through your trip, you might start to see these signs pop up in an individual, and maybe that's your sign. This reading is your sign to take note of that and to explore it, so to speak. Yeah, it seems fun. Sorry, I had to kind of sit with that a little bit, just kind of see what I see sometimes, even though that it definitely goes against the general energy of the live stream. Um, just going back to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Welcome, Sil. Yay. If you guys didn't know, Priscilla, she recently rebranded from A Life Full of Simplicity to Priscilla's Tarot Corner. So she's not new. She's same old, and we're happy to see her rebrand. Unicorn. So, resting witch face, I feel like I need that on both a mug, a t-shirt, and a sticker. Well, I wish you luck on your trip. I understand, like, traveling abroad takes a lot of planning and stuff like that. Alrighty. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. We have Midnight Unicorn, Midnight, sorry, Midnight. Go ahead and put your question in the chat. And then I have Aiko, Unicorn, Kaime. Hopefully I said that right. Mindful. And then I know Alana and let me make sure I have the name right. Scrolling. For whatever reason, didn't want to add you. Natty Nat. I'm gonna squeeze you guys in because for whatever reason that was broken. Followed by Luke, Marshy, Yumiko, and Sil. I know. I was happy to see Sil in the queue. Libra, so I called you a while back, so just rejoin the queue and I will call you again. Okay, let's see what your energy of the week is. Let's pull a divine blessings card for you. Let's see what your week's divine blessing is. Ooh, we have a tiger here. Okay, so this is love. This card says you are a precious gift to the world. Your true love shines from your soul and touches everyone around you. Remember to love yourself first so you can love others from a place of abundance. As RuPaul always says, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? So I love it. Let's see what else Tarot has to say. Okay, we have our first card here. This is a unique card to this deck. This deck has, oh gosh, 4, I think. So we'll talk about it. And there we go. All right, so this card is Bravery. This is one of the extra cards in the deck. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles, and then we have the 9 of Swords. So, I think that this week overall is going to have a few ups and downs, even though, like, I think maybe the previous weeks have been fairly stable. I think I'm going to talk about this one a little bit less. I'll start with the 6 of Pentacles and then go on to the Swords. So with the 6 of Pentacles, I feel like this is indicating that maybe there's a little bit of a backstep that happens this week, or the week coming rather. A little bit of a backstep that happens in terms of just the physical world around you. I don't want to necessarily say it's like health wise, but I think that it's just, maybe a little bit of aches and pains here and there, maybe a little bit of like this, that, or other. But I think this being in the center of your reading is really indicative of maybe some things that you thought were behind you or not necessarily in regards to that. And then it's sort of exacerbating your how it weighs on you mentally going forward. And I think that with this card here, and then with the bravery card, I think it really drives home just pushing through the week, because sometimes it sucks, but sometimes we have to just push through in order to get to the upswing of our cycle, right? Um, so I think the bravery card just reminds you that even though things feel like you might be taking like two steps back for every one step forward, um, it only feels that way, right? You just keep pushing forward and you realize like when you look at the overall big picture, things are very different. And I think that's why this you have this love card here where it's just reminding you not to be hard on yourself while being brave and pushing through things. You still have to remind yourself like this isn't your fault necessarily. It's not like it's just kind of how the cards have fallen, no pun intended. And just a reminder throughout the week to take a concerted effort to find ways to give yourself love and appreciation. So, um, I, th- yeah, I think that maybe next week's going to be a little bit difficult, but I will say, as I do with all future readings, and you know this, um, the future is nebulous. The future is what we make of it. So you're still in control of how the week goes, and that's where this love and bravery card come in. So yeah, we're always going to be thrown with some ups and downs, but it's how you handle and push through ultimately. So um yeah, I uh this is a hard part of tarot, guys. Like, you know, everything can't be sunshine and rainbows. So I think, hold on, guys, don't freak out. I'm doing stuff in the back end. I don't generally expect so many people. You guys came out of the woodworks today. So Kaime, you are up next. Um I think with the bravery and love card midnight, there's definitely some sunshine. Or at least some rainbows. Bentley, let's see. I still didn't get you. Thank you. This is the Wisdom of the Pooh Tarot. This is by Serafina Messa. Her art is so pretty. She created literally my favorite oracle deck, and now I'm obsessed. Bentley, no, not yet. But I will say, use exclamation point join to join the queue again. Let's call for Kaime. Yeah, so I found out like during the live so that Streamlabs has like a default limit when you go live. And I've just never reached it before today, so I had no idea. So I had to close it and reopen it with a higher limit. And that's why, and ultimately that's why you guys couldn't join. Sorry. All right. Nope. Actually, your ears must have been itching, unicorn, because you are up next. Yep, there you go. There it is. Nice shuffle. Let's see what advice your team has for you in regards to your energy. Honestly, this is a great question. I'm gonna save this for myself as well. I feel this very much. All right. I don't shuffle in reversals, but when I do readings for you guys, I like to flip things that feel like they should be reversed, just so if you come back and look at these and just glance at stuff, you see where I'm coming from. So we have the Three of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and I reversed it, and the King of Swords. So I reverse this because you have the King of Pentacles here. This is your earth energy surrounded by this air energy, and they don't like to work together. So I think that your mind and your energy are not in alignment, and it's creating this instability in terms of your confidence of ruling the world around you. So you have what I feel like are really good ideas and really good thoughts on how to move forward, but you don't have the stability and groundedness necessarily to do so. So I think that is really the core, the crux of what your spiritual team is pointing out to you, is finding ways to bring groundedness. So this in like a practical sense, and I'll get to this card in a second. In a practical sense throughout the week, everybody practices groundedness in a different way, but I'll give like examples to me where like sometimes I don't mean this flippantly. I need to touch grass. I just need to be outside for a little bit, just get a little bit of fresh air, feel the breeze in my hair, maybe sit by a tree. Or other times it's working with things from nature. So I like to dry herbs, for example, where I just feel like I can sit and just reset my energy in that kind of way. And I think that's the crux of what's happening. You're not taking a conscious effort to do that. So there's also this lingering Three of Swords. It stands out in the sense like you have these two kings here. This stands out in the sense where I feel like some of this might have been triggered by a specific event that is making you hang on to something emotionally. The Three of Swords is really about conquering one's like grief and how it affects them mentally going forward. So all of that could be the catalyst that just dissolves everything else, that leads to this instability, this ungroundedness, this need to do a little earthing. And whatever that event is or group of events are that have built up to this point of this Three of Swords, I think you need to address it. I would say like your team is saying like, this thing is weighing on you. Trying to put it behind you isn't necessarily the best method. It's more so confronting it, accepting it, almost like releasing it. A perfect season to do this kind of stuff, where if you're holding on to things where you feel like they've just built up and built up and built up, this is a perfect season to just release it. That releasing ritual is different for everyone. If you want tips, I'll gladly give you some. But I think that this is the perfect time to do that. Your team is saying this is probably the perfect time to do that. With the King of Pentacles in the center of your reading, don't expect this to be something that happens overnight. So these things are very quick acting, but at the crux of this, This is something that has been going on for a while, and it's something, therefore, that you need to take time and patience in resolving. Build up good habits, um, a little bit of trial and error, what things work, what things don't, and moving forward that. But I would say the really good part about all of this is with this King of Swords, your team really feels like you have the skill set, the knowledge, the wisdom to understand what you need. And now that it's being pointed out to you, you have the ability to go and set these things in place and start to sometimes I like to take things literally, but build a solid kingdom for yourself, whatever that looks like. So, yeah, unicorn, I think you have some really good advice here. Find those I don't want to say rituals, but find those habits that really help you find groundedness. And how can you build that into your repetitive just routine? I guess I'll word it that way. I like that. Imagine the roots of a tree coming up through the earth into the soles of your feet. This is how I do a lot of my like workings actually. All right, Crystal Aiko, you're up next. Who is the Three of Swords? Yeah, I could see that too. You're welcome. Alrighty, guys. While we wait for the next question, I don't know. I just kind of had the urge to pull this out, really, both of them. But I'm not hating the pairings. I really like the vibrancy and the contrast of the watercolors. So you guys will have to let me know what you think about the pairings, or if you even care. Maybe if you're not like a reader or whatever, you don't even care about it. Okay, let me remind you guys. So up next we have Mindful Mind, and then we have Natty Nat and Lana, followed by Luke, Marshy, Yumiko, Priscilla, Whimsically, and Ambitious Girl. And I'm sorry I didn't greet you guys, Whimsically, Ambitious. I apparently missed you. I'm so sorry. All right, let's see. Let's see what looks like will happen between you guys. Okay. Yeah, I like the you're the year of the lion. I'm the year of the dragon. Powerful animals. Okay. Crystal, you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. We're getting a lot of pentacles as a community, and I love that. As an earth girly myself, that it's my jam. So I'm really digging this energy. I do think so. As I always say, just a reminder, when we ask future questions, the future can be a little nebulous. Things might change depending on the actions we take. But I do feel like there will be a conversation that happens. The aces in general, I will say, are like the Kickstarter to a new journey, so to speak. And the Ace of Pentacles really feels like you're opening up new doors to the path forward. I will say, just to caveat that I think you guys will talk again, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's initially going to be favorable, but I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. Um, we have the Pentacles and the Five of Cups. I'm going to kind of skip over here. Five of Cups. This card is full of disappointment. So obviously, I feel like the conversation in general is not going to go the way that you're hoping to. You'll be able to probably get whatever it is out that you want to get out, but the response, the overall tone and flow of the conversation is just not going to feel right. You're going to be really disappointed. But the thing about the Five of Cups that I love is that traditionally, while there are cups overturned, there are some cups upright. There are good things that are coming out of it. It's just sometimes you don't notice them until later. With the Page of Pentacles and in the middle of the reading, the pages are like they are the discoverers and learners and students of the courts. They're really learning from their experiences. And I think that this being in the center of your reading is saying that you really need to sit with the conversation that happens and just kind of learn from it and grow from it. And I think that you will. It feels like you will. Anyway, from this, I will say that this might be a really long process, though. I don't think this is going to be a conversation that happens in like the next few days or anything. With aces are a little sooner in regards to that, but pentacles and cups are the slower energy. They're the slower half of the tarot. Things don't move very quickly. There's sometimes a stubborn rootedness that happens. And I think that Crystal, I think that that will probably flow through into the energy of the conversation. So I could say that, with I don't like to give timing, but I would say that this probably won't be for quite a few months. You might start to see signs that this is going to be coming to fruition, this conversation. But overall, I think that this is going to be a month by month long journey for you where it almost feels like a discovery of oneself with this ace here of you kind of have that. I don't like to use the word closure. It's so cliche, but you have that conversation, you have that lesson that you learn, um and you decide as the page how you're going to grow from it and what lessons you're going to learn from it. So yeah, I will say, too long didn't read. You'll have a conversation, but maybe initially won't be the best thing in the world. Um, but it'll be good for you. All right, Mindful Mind, you are up next. You're welcome, Crystal. Make sure you guys like this video. It helps with the algorithm. Bentley. No, I don't have you, but you joined before I tried to close the queue, so use exclamation point join to rejoin. Not rejoin, but I don't know. Streamlabs has been being a butt today. Is something in Gatorade right now? Ooh, Alana, you're watching on TV. I do that too. I watch on TV and then I like doom scroll on my phone and then I like tune back into the chat from time to time. Dark Matter, you do not have to pay. If you do, I will bump you up the queue and you get some oracle cards as well. Technically it's still open because we've been having some issues. But there we go. All right. Cool. All right. I think that's essentially everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and close it because when I get too far past an hour, Luna's like, Mom, we need snuggle time. It's time to get off. So I don't do third parties mindful, but I can see what the energy between you guys or like what the near future looks like between you guys. Just let me know. That didn't feel like a very good shuffle. Let me get another one in. Luna is always ready for snuggles, like straight spoiled. I don't ever pay attention to it either until like weird things start to go wrong. Like I remember so okay, mindful, I'll totally do that. One Mercury retrograde just felt like really bad. And literally, so I had my mic on like a boom arm up here. And I went to like swivel it right before starting. And the whole thing just cracked. I had to like find my little like stand for my microphone. And I was like, what the hell just happened? And then Scylla's in chat and she was like, oh, it's retrograde. And I'm like, God damn it. Okay, let's see what the energy between you and Christian are, mindful. See what the near future looks like for you guys. Next card. All right, one more. Whoops. Oh no. All right. Last card here. Here we go. All right. We have the 8 of Pentacles, we have the 9 of Cups, and we have the High Priestess. So I think highlighting this card, this 9 of Cups here, I think things are gonna turn out well in the sense that I think things are going to start to feel like they're working out. I think that's how I want to phrase it. So we have the 8 of Pentacles on one side, the High Priestess on the other side. The 8 of Pentacles tells me that, yeah, things are going to start to feel like things are working out. But I think that there's sort of an indication that you have to grease the wheels a little bit. 8 of Pentacles. There's a bit of action in this card that's happening, but it's also like setting the groundwork for things to happen. Almost like moving the pieces of a playing board or a playing field or whatever without being obvious about it. Setting things in motion, putting players where they need to. I don't know why it feels that way. I don't mean it in a really like I don't mean it in like a manipulative kind of way, just kind of like making things right almost. So there's a little bit of work that I feel like has to happen before you get to this 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups is what I like to call the like wishes granted card. But the thing is, it's not just out of nowhere. It in this case, this is out of all of the energy that you're putting into the overall situation between you guys. So if you've been a little like hands off with Christian, this might be a sign that you need to work this situation a little bit, right? For your in your favor. The high priestess, um so when she pops up, the high priestess to me feels like twofold, right? On one side, this feels like maybe tap into the more spiritual side of things. Not necessarily manifesting, but not manifesting. I think there's like a full circle thing of things. Like if the magician popped up, I would say yeah, totally manifesting. That's a manifestation card. But with the high priestess, it's more so like it feels a little different in the sense like the high priestess has intuition on her side where you maneuver in a way that feels right for you at the moment. And um if you are manifesting and you're doing different things, it's trusting that you're doing things at the right moment. Does that make sense? That's the difference that I'm seeing in the high priestess versus had I gotten like the magician card right now. So hopefully the my crazy ramblings are making sense to you. Um yes. We aren't sharing embalming videos. Yeah, so I think though in general, if I zoom out here, right? So in general, I don't think that there's going to be a lot of action on Christian's behalf, not intentionally so, just I mean, I don't know, guys are dumb. So, there has to be a little bit of, placing the cards and placing the pieces on your behalf in order to kind of get the ball rolling. But I don't feel like it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's just I don't know. Who knows? Christian could be shy or just, unsure, nervous. Nothing bad. Hi, Sassy. Sorry, my queue is closed. Okay. Natty Nat, if you're here, put your question in the chat. I think I spelled that wrong. There we go. You're welcome, Mindful. And just a reminder, if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you like the video. Ooh, job fair. Okay, let's see how that will go. Okay, last card here. One more. You have the Two of Wands, Three of Wands, and then El Folio is fancy card in this deck, but it's the Fool. I think that you're primed. You're in a spot where you can make this job fair work out really, really well for you. You just have to, I think, take a few steps to get there. So there's a little bit of planning and forward thinking that you have to do. So I would recommend researching. I would recommend researching, the different hotels that you want to work at. or if it's not just hotels, research the fair that you're going to, who's going to be there, who do you want to go to, who has priority, stuff like that, right? So between the 2 and 3 of wands, that's really what you're being asked to do. With that in mind, if you prep for those specific places, I feel like this is like with the 3 of wands in the middle of your reading, this is like, oh, okay, the world is your oyster in the sense of this job fair. And things can really work out well in the sense that you'll get to meet with a lot of the right people that you're hoping for. Ooh, you're going for one specific hotel. So that's, I would say still same, honestly. I would still research the specific hotel. I would also still research the competition, because I will say, like, just in terms of like interviewing with brands that have a lot of competition, explain why you're looking for that specific place, not necessarily to disparage another place, but just to say, like, oh, I've researched these other places, but I really like how you do X, Y, and Z, as an example. And the fool here just it's a little bit of a leap of faith that you have to take. If you're doing these other things, right? You're planning, you're looking forward to the future, you're looking ahead about how you feel like you can fit into the company and over X number of years, for example. Just allow yourself the freedom to step forward into the interview process, or however they're doing the fair, but into that process of networking with that hotel. So I think that ultimately, and you have a lot of warm colors here that I really like, really bright colors as well. I think that this will really go well for you. Just be a little confident, well, not a little confident, be confident. um just know that you put in the hard work on the back end, and that will reflect going forward. So all of these things to set the foundational blocks for you moving forward. And then when you get there, just allow the pressure to flow off and step forward into the unknown, so to speak. But yeah, I think I think this job fair looks really good for you. And I will say, with a hint of that fool there, that maybe you'll discover something that you were not initially thinking about. Alrighty, Alana, you are up next. Bentley, yes, you made it into the queue. So Streamlabs is weird because, like, I'm looking at the back end of it now. There's 2 number 7s. Like, Whimsically is number 7, then there's an 8, and then for whatever reason you're number 7 as well. So I think that Streamlabs is going through it. You're welcome, Natty. Glad you got it worked out, though. I feel like the at function doesn't work well for me on YouTube. I don't know. It's weird. All right, general reading. Let's see what kind of blessing you have. All right, blessing for Alana. Ooh, we have the abundance card. So this card says, the universe is rich and generous, and you deserve to receive all the best. Allow abundance to flow into your life in all areas. You are worthy, and it is your natural state to live life to the fullest. And this is Looks like a jaguar, but I'm not 100% sure if it's a leopard or a jaguar, just due to artistic differences. All right, let's see what the tarot says for you. Well, we have our, is this the first repeat? I don't think it's the first repeat. Um we're getting a lot of night energy across the community as well. Okay. We have the 6 of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Cups, and then we have the Ace of Swords. So, let me pull this down a bit. Okay. So, I like that you have the Abundance card, and then we're starting off with Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles, I feel like this is a sign to be generous with your time and energy, I would say. But I don't mean so in the sense like at the expense of yourself. Um, I already know that you like to give a lot of your energy to people in a good way, through your readings and your YouTube videos and stuff like that. So I feel like this is just reassurance of that, and in doing this, you're going to start to feel a lot of this abundance coming back to you. With the Knight of Cups, there's this sort of reassurance of how your willingness to give is very charming. It really helps you as well. I I always mention the knights are the action oriented cards, so like there's a lot of movement around them, and I feel like in doing so there you keep a lot of energy that is moving around you in what I feel like is a really um beneficial way. And I think that leads us to this ace here, where in doing so, you give your time and energy and into in this, and it helps you kind of grow and refocus and decide what your goals and ambitions are and how you kind of want to move throughout the world. And the ace is like an indicator that you're always being thoughtful in terms of how you want to go, and always being thoughtful on what next steps you want to take. So the Ace of Swords also, to me, I feel like of the aces, this is really like the victory card. All aces kind of have this like successful air to them, but I think that like the Ace of Swords really indicates like this aha moment where you start to find this like ideas start to flow through. You start to feel like things start to connect in really good ways that make sense to you, and it really opens up a new path to it really opens up a path to finding new successes down the line, like further on, like further into the future, and your willingness to go down them. But yeah, I would say like just overall in general, um it feels very much like a keep on keeping on kind of reading, where you're already doing these kind of things. Maybe this reading just sparks a little bit more mindfulness in this regard, where you pay a little bit more attention on how you're shaping the energy that you give to people, and how that shapes your ambitions for the future, and how that shapes how you like what path you go down in the future. But otherwise, I feel like this is a very much like sustained check-in, if that makes sense. Your piggies are very charming as always. But yeah, this was like really awesome reading. I think you have a great energy around you, Alana. Keep up with that. Maintain it. And I will say, as just a subtle warning of the Six of Pentacles, be careful about giving too much of your time and energy away, and always check back in with yourself. It's one of the things that I like to point out um, with the Six of Pentacles. Alrighty, up next we have Luke, and you guys have been so patient. We have following Luke, we have Marshy, Yumiko, Priscilla, Whimsically Ambitious, and Bentley. A feedback form for what? Okay, let's see what energy, Luke, you should be embracing and rediscovering yourself. Oh, look at that, Luke. Us Taurines, we got the bull here. This is harmony. So seek harmony in your thoughts and within your being. Find equilibrium between your mind, body, and spirit. When you achieve harmony, it paves the way for deeper connections and inner strength. Okay, let's see what. Oh, okay. Let's see your energy, Luke. Next card. A lot of Wands and Pentacles tonight. All right, last card. We have the Nine of Wands, the Five of Wands, and then the Nine of Cups. So give me 1 second. Always have to check my numerology from time to time because it's not necessarily the thing I'm best at, but I try to consider it regardless. So you have 2 nines. We have the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Cups here. Nines in tarot are about, I did mention it earlier, about nearing completion. Because of that, it feels very much like you're in a transitional period and like on the brink of attaining the things that you want. So I think that, at the precipice of achieving goals, there's still this like balance that you really need to consider, especially with this harmony card here. And it fights against what I'm seeing here with the Five of Wands. It almost feels like, you're at the brink of achieving certain things that you've set in mind, but the problem is you have some external things that you're fighting against, and it's not insurmountable by any regard. I think that this has a little bit of a turbulent energy that you need to either overcome or release. It feels more like a little bit of overcoming and less release, but it could be a little bit of both, just because people tend to internalize a lot of the external things that are happening to them. But with the harmony card, I think that is the energy, that is the goal theme, I guess, to answer your question. What energy should you be embracing? That like really calm energy that would bring about harmony is really what you want to be focusing on. And then that way you can really find the path to both the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Cups here. And it allows you to release or remove yourself or center yourself, whatever this action requires. I always mention, I've been trying to mention more in my lives, is with 3 cards. Sometimes there's more that's going on, and this is a card that I would expand upon in a normal private reading, where I would try to dive in and see what deeper actions are being required here, or what deeper events are happening. And I think Luke, since you do your own readings, maybe this is something that you sit down and dive a little deeper on. Like, and just to give you some actionable things, your theme here is harmony. Your goal is to find harmony, but this is very turbulent. So this is your five of wands. So your question could be something like how to overcome the five of wands energy in order to find harmony, or something like that. I mean, honestly, Luke, we all have to, right? We're human. We all struggle with internalizing things to varying degrees depending what they are. So it's all something we have to be conscious of. It's not always, it's not always a you thing, but yeah. Alrighty, Marshy, you're up next. It's an ongoing journey, you know? So guys, I got a new chair for my office. I feel like you guys will see it in whatever next videos I record. But I'm loving this thing. It's so comfy. Sure. Oh, wrong person. Here we go. Okay, let's see. General reading for the week for Marshy. One second. All right. Sorry, just reconfiguring like how I'm sitting. It has one of those like footrest things so I can like sit cross-legged. All right. So you have the King of Pentacles, you have the 10 of Cups, and then you have the 7 of Wands. I will say, overall, I'll say that you're going to have a fairly good week. Just to caveat, in general, outside of the cards, there are ups and downs of every single day, every single week, every single month. There's always going to be highs and lows. But overall, I feel like with this 10 of Cups in the middle of your reading, it's going to be a really fairly good week for you. The King of Pentacles feels very much like you are in control of how the week is progressing. And what I mean by that is kings have control over their domain, and then pentacles, there's an element of stability that I think that you're tapping into for the week. So I think that overall, you're gonna have a good week. You're gonna have there's like this element of emotional fulfillment that I feel like you're getting as well with the 10 of Cups. And there's the stability side of things. So there's a really nice balance that's happening here that I see in regards to this half. So, and then over here we have the oh gosh, what is this? I said wands, but I think I meant swords if I said that. So this is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords isn't necessarily a bad card. I think that this feels very much more like this. So I think as we're going out, throughout the week, overall it's pretty good. You're feeling like you're finding like a good footing in terms of things. But with the Seven of Swords here, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's about becoming clear about the things that you honestly just need to rethink how you're doing things. So having this calm moment opens you up to really reconsider how the other times, the other weeks, the other months have gone for you, and reconsider what you can do to mm, to reproduce this good week that you're having. And part of this is going to be about being honest with yourself about things that you've done in the past and how they may have worked out for you, maybe temporarily or not at all, and stuff like that. But I think that this is a good time to do it, honestly. Ooh, making new friends. Yeah, honestly, I think that if if that's what you have been reconsidering, maybe that's what been, reconsidering over the past, is how you've been connecting with people and making friends and building those relationships, and you're starting to learn what's right for you over here in this good part. And as you're learning what's right for you and what's good for you, and how it has affected your energy throughout the week, you start to reconsider the things that you've done in the past, and it starts to drive home the bad decisions you've made. Not, I mean, we've all made bad decisions, and people, right? It happens. But ultimately, I think, like, with this 10 of cups in the middle, it's really a sign. Totally go do that, Marshy. Um, it's not a better time to do it. There has not been a better time to do it than right now. To reword that, sorry. All right. Up next is Yumiko. I know getting out of your comfort zone is hard, I feel like, but I mean, as a Taurus who's very rooted in her ways. But if you're making a conscious effort to do it, it's already something that's sort of on your mind to do. It's really hard, especially if I feel like we've all kind of, I mean, people that are a little closed off tend to have reasons for being closed off. And it's hard to break out of that habit of being like, oh, if I, oops, sorry. Sorry, still, yeah. I'll get you next. So outside of tarot, just to um give you advice, it's never been easier to be a publisher. Um People have published stuff, not privately, but individually, and I will say, regardless of what the cards say, I feel like you should just try it, right? There's really no love lost in doing it. So, my opinion aside, let's see what the tarot has to say about you being a publisher. or being a published author. Um, Good night, Marshy. Thanks for joining as always. So Yumiko, you have the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and then the Tower. And I don't want this tower to scare you, but I want you to understand that maybe your concept of fulfilling is a little different than what you're expecting. So I'm going to start in the front and work my way back, as not to terrify you, but the Page of Pentacles, I mentioned previously that pages have a lot of earth energy. They are also the students of the courts. They really like to learn and explore and discover new things. They can also be a sign that you need to sit with something for a little bit. So with the pentacles, I feel like you need to sit with the idea of the more I don't know what to call it. I don't want to say like the business side of things, but it's more so like the actual step-by-step process of how this could look and how it would work. And decide in that moment if that's something that you want to go forward with. I feel like this is almost like a checkpoint, right? Where you're looking into what it means to be a published author. What are the different options you have? Do those options work for you? Going into the night, once you research that stuff, you're transitioning into knighthood, where you start to take actions. You've discerned what looks right for you, what feels like it could be the more emotionally fulfilling path for you. But I will say, finishing up with the tower, just understand that the world of publishing is not easy. There's a lot of, when it comes to these giant publishing houses, just setting expectations, right? So there's this partial element where it's fulfilling in the sense that you have set a goal and accomplished it, but maybe the results you're looking for are really this tower here. The tower is a lot of times indicative of like sudden changes, but in this case I feel like it's more so the facade breaking down of what it means to be in the publishing world, and realizing that maybe the goals that you set are not necessarily realistic in the moment. So that being said, what I mean by that is maybe this is emotionally fulfilling if you reset your expectations of what you feel like you're going to get out of it. If your goal is to just have a project, finish it, and publish it and say that I done it, then yeah, I feel like you really have this with the Knight of Cups in the middle of your reading. You really have that moment to be emotionally fulfilled. But if your goal is to be able to say, I've made like Amazon's top whatever, or get on Oprah's like reading club list or something like that, maybe that's where this tower comes in. So there's a little bit of push and pull here in terms of the second part of your question about it being fulfilling, because I think that it's a little ambiguous And maybe it's still a little ambiguous to you. Like what do you this begs to question, like, what do you really want out of publishing? Is it just like the fulfillment of saying I've done it, or is it, or are there actual like tiers to the success that you're looking for? Um so I feel like this reading really asks you to reflect on that. But I will say it's 100% um possible for you to publish whatever it is that you want to publish. How you do that, what your personal gates of success are up to you. And that's where this nebulousness of the tower come in. So you have to kind of sit with that a little bit. And the pentacles here starting things off is really indicative that this is going to be kind of a process over a good portion of time. And then generally what I recommend is you go through this studious process, you kind of set a specific path in mind, how you want to move forward. And then I recommend checking back in to see what the near term energies look like. So yeah, I do not like to scare people with the tower or anything like that, but I do like to set expectations. So I think you should totally do it. My personal opinion, cards aside. But ultimately that is up to you. You're so welcome. Thanks for being so patient for you guys at the end of my list. I know it was a lot of folks to get through. Again, make sure you like this video. It really helps with the algorithm. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot still. I'm like all over the place. I'll get you next. I'll get you next, whimsically. Oh, what are the odds of 2 publishing questions in one night? Okay, this is really fun. Fun night. Okay. Let's see. Let's see kind of. Oh, sorry. Oh, I got so excited. I see. Yeah, once I finished reading. I know, I'm not used to such a busy night. Thanks for being so patient with me, guys. I'm also, just so you guys know, I'm being circled. Like, I feel like I'm being circled by like jaws right now because Luna and Apollo are circling me. Like, get off. Let's see. Let's see what you should focus on for the rest of the year. Let's pull a Divine Blessings card for you. It's like a overall focus, overall theme. Okay, we have the Calmness card. This is a koi fish. Create time and space to find peace in your daily life. Appreciate the quiet moments. Allow serenity to embrace and recharge you so you can face life's challenges with clarity and stability. Honestly, I love that for this time of year. Let's see. Let's see what tarot has. Okay. Feel like to find your calmness is going to take a lot of decision making here for you. So you have the 2 of Wands, the 2 of Swords, and then the 10 of Wands. So the Wands, Swords, they are fueling each other, which in my opinion is counter to this theme of calmness. So I feel like you have to make a concerted effort in terms of what decisions you make that will allow you to find calmness, or it could lead to burnout. So I feel like, if calmness is really what you want, and what I mean by that is, sometimes we ask tarot in general. Tarot gives us suggestions of what we push forward to. Um, but sometimes it's not what we want, and it's fine. This is telling you maybe this is what you need. um, and I'm gonna look up my numerology again real quick. So, mm, yes. Okay. So with the twos here, we have the Two of Wands, Two of Swords. The twos, ironically, twos are about balance and finding that balance between the things that you're working with. It's hard, in my opinion, to find balance between the energy of the wands, which is this fire, and inspiration, this movement that's happening with the swords, which sparks, in my mind, this is what's happening. It's sparking a lot of ideas and things, and it's hard to want to sit still, and your brain is really, really active, and it's just one thing is fueling the other. But the problem is, and maybe it's just like this is something that's been ongoing for the entire year, and right now it's just at the point where you're a little burnt out with that process, and it's okay to be a little still. I think this reading is just really reminding you that it's okay to have ideas. It's okay to have inspiration. We all do, and we all get bouts of this energy where it fuels it, but you don't necessarily have to act on it right now, because you can jot it down and save it for later. And I do know with you, Sil, you're very good at planning out your time. So if you feel like you have maybe over allotted some of your energy to things, maybe reconsider where you're putting your time and energy. Yeah, fucking mood, man. Work has been nuts for me too. I've been so burnt out. Like, I totally relate to that. Um, I think this is a reminder that it's okay to put things off for a little bit, so we don't end up at this 10 of wands situation where we're just like, yeah, we're pumping things out, we're meeting our goals, but at what cost? When instead we can just kind of spread it out a little bit, give ourselves that moment to just, yes, midnight, just chill, just relax and breathe ultimately. So honestly, still fucking mood. My goal is to start off the new year like fresh, but I'm already tired preemptively for New Year. So I get it. I mean, hell, like dodgeball is half my personality, and I've been so burnt out. I haven't even really enjoyed it this last half of the year. So I think so, just however is the best method for you to do so. Find that calm and chill that you feel like you haven't been able to allow yourself in the previous part of the year. Now it's hard. I will say, when it comes to work and it's something that's sort of out of our control, it's hard. But because, and I know this for myself at least, like I feel like I'm so burnt out from work that YouTube and my social media takes a really hard hit. So how can I redistribute? And it goes back to a little bit of the community reading too, of feeling like how can I refocus the things that I'm doing, and how can I ground myself and find stability, and being able to tap into that energy where I'm not just draining myself. And it's hard. You're welcome. Yep. I'm gonna scroll up and find Whimsically's question. Whimsically, let me know that you are still here. Alana, it's so funny because I'm like, oh, that would be so super cool. Like if Syl wrote like, a book about astrology and whatever, but I'm simultaneously like, oh, relax, don't add so much to your plate. Okay, let's see whimsically how your spiritual team would describe you. So just to clarify, Ambitious Girl and Bentley, you guys are gonna be up next respectively. All right, whimsically, let's see how your team would describe you. A lot of this 2 and 3 wands combo coming up right now. Ooh, I got an itch. 1 second. Sorry, guys. All right. You have the 3 of wands, the 2 of wands, and then the death card. I feel like if your spiritual team were describing you to someone, it would be someone who really, like at the core of things, really loves to like plan out how things are going to go in the future, specifically in the future, like what you want your future to look like with this 3 of wands, how you're planning ahead. And so whimsically, technically, yes, with the oracle, but Syl is my mod. Luke, Alana, and Midnight are personal friends. So not to say it's objectively favoritism. I'm sorry. But they have kind of been the day one crowd, and they even put up with me offline. So yeah. I feel like if you put up with me offline, you deserve an oracle card. But so I think your team really sees you as someone who's really in control of how you transform your future for the things that you need. I mean, of course, with us all, you might need a little bit of help from them or from, maybe coming to me for readings or whatever. But ultimately, you have an idea in mind. And when you don't, you plan things out. You look ahead to see how, like, what is it you might need. And then with this death card, it really indicates that, like, they really see you as someone who is just ultimately transformative. So when you reach out to them and they give you advice or they help you through a situation, whatever your relationship is with them, they feel like ultimately the outcome of that communication results in some sort of change. And sorry, cats over here. And I really think this is I really love the energy that I'm feeling here. There's sort of like a hands-off but supportive thing. Like think of how can I describe it? Think of it as like, parents that are like watching you take your first steps, where they're like, okay, I'm gonna let you take those steps, but I'm here to support you if you fall. But I feel like you don't need us. That's the kind of energy that I feel from you. And I think that they see you have You have the capability to control how things are moving for yourself with this fire energy. You find inspiration in your own ways, and even if you're tapping into them or you reach out to me for readings, ultimately it's still your own thing and you make it your own, and I think that's awesome. Honestly, I'm almost done. um Honestly, I think that this is a really great way to be seen by your spiritual team. So I hope you feel that energy as well. And it gives you the confidence to reach out to them when you need it, but also know that even if you don't reach out, like they got your back. Yeah. I think there's like a healthy reliance on your spiritual team, but not over reliance, if that makes sense. Where it's like you know when you need to reach out when things just aren't quite right and maybe feeling a little like you need a push, but ultimately you still take your own actions. They recognize that and they let you do what you need to do, whether it's, win, lose, or other, because they know you got it. All right, ambitious girl, you are up next. Come on, Lena. You want some lap time? Come, come. You're welcome, as always. Thank you for understanding about the oracle cards. All right, let's see. Oops. All right, what good things are next up for you in love? It's so funny because I was talking about the magician earlier. All right, we have the Seven of Pentacles. We have the magician in the center of your reading here. And then we have the hanged man, aka the hanged bear in this reading. Start with the center of your reading here. I was talking about the magician earlier. So I think that in regards to what's up next is going to be dependent on the energy that you're putting in. So the magician is really talking about the having the skills you need to manifest the outcomes and desires and goals that you really really want. And what I think that means in terms of your question is like the good things that are coming up for you are the things that you manifest. So if you're not doing that, then I recommend you at least touching on that, trying that out, put some feelers in, and it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. I would say that it could just be something as simple as like I don't want to say affirmations. This is the wrong word. It's more so like, you know, clearly stating what it is that you want to get out of something romantic coming, right? What are your goals in that regard? I'll go over here with the Seven of Pentacles. Now that being said, I think that there's a little bit of work that you got to put in regards to how you want things to shape up, right? So this feels very ambiguous. I don't think that this is a very clear answer for you, unfortunately. I think that there's some preemptive work that you have to put in before you get the clear, these are the next things that you're going to get out of it, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. So you say that you've been passive. That is part of the hard work. The Seven of Pentacles is about really like putting in the work, right? So imagine this card. Let's just use the imagery. Literally, you're tending to your own garden, and as you put into that work, you will reap the rewards from it. That's usually what the next steps are, but you have to take this step first. So that means if you have these preconceived issues that are holding you back, you need to work on overcoming them. Now, that work can be done in different ways depending on your resources and determination, I will say. So if you have the resources to do so, therapy. If not, maybe shadow work, to kind of reshape your relationship with what it is you're looking for, which is, I guess, a man in this case. So you have the skills to do so. You just need to put that into action. And I love that you pointed out that you need to shift your thinking, because that's what this hanged man, or hanged bear in this case, is really talking about. You need to and you need to rethink your perspective of the situation. But the caveat with the hanged man, which is why I really think that maybe you should get like someone to help you through it, is that it requires a little bit of sacrifice of oneself, um in some kind of way, but I'm not like qualified to say in what way, if that makes sense. So I think there's like maybe sacrificing the things that you're holding on to, from the past, sacrificing your way of thinking, whatever that is. It's going to require a lot of work before you can get to those next steps. So this feels very much like, if you want to get to the next steps in love that you're sort of insinuating with this question, you need to work on you first before you can get there. um but it doesn't feel impossible, it just feels like hard work. So hopefully the hard work doesn't feel impossible to you. um yeah, that's awesome, ambitious girl. I think so. Generally, what I recommend in situations like that is, this is an ongoing process. And from time to time, I feel like people um, recognize mini milestones that happen in that process. And I recommend at those little mini milestones to check back in, just to see if maybe you should pivot a little bit, or if you should focus on something that maybe didn't come to mind. It doesn't have to, I do sell readings, but I'm not necessarily here to advertise that. My point in saying that is like, just check back in, whether it be with me or someone else. Go through the process. I know, Luna, I'm almost done. Alana, I've done like dream interpretation readings. I won't say I'm good or bad at them. I haven't done them enough to form an opinion or to have enough feedback to say, but we can always talk through it offline if you want to. All right, Bentley, excuse me, you are my last but not least. Oh my gosh, I've almost been on for 2 hours. Thank you, ambitious girl. Whatever you do, I'm sure you'll figure out what works best for you based off of that. I know, I'm almost done. Can you relax? Okay, guess you can't relax. I need a cat cam. Let's see if I can get her on screen. Here's Luna. Ah! It's hard because like my camera's top up, so or top down. Okay. Ooh, let's see. Last card. Here we go. You have the Ace of Wands. You have the the Hanged Man or the Hermit. My God, you have the Hermit, and then the Eight of Wands. So we have two Wands cards and the Hermit. We have a Major Arcana. I do feel like you're. I'm gonna say yes, but so with the Ace here, the movement that you have here, I feel like this is saying that you will get what you're looking for, the pay that you're looking for. And with the Wands feels very soon, very nearby in terms of energy. I don't like to necessarily give time frames because futures, whatever. But I think you will. But there's I feel like there's going to be something about the job that you realize maybe in reality it's not necessarily what you're looking for, but it'll do the job, no pun intended, for now. I'm sorry, yeah, this is Ace of Swords. Thank you. I can tell I'm getting to the limit of my night. But still, regardless, you still have quick moving energy here, fast moving energy here, and then still feels like sort of nearby. Oh, you see 8s all over the place. Let me see. 8s in tarot. 8s are changes and achievement and rebirth. So yeah, so sorry. It's still aces. I was just talking in terms of the aces anyway, which is a new beginning. You're starting something new, which feels very much like a new job. This energy means the 8 of Wands makes it feel like you're going to go through those changes very quickly. But the Hermit is what makes me think like getting this job might make you rethink what it is you really, really want, and maybe what you get isn't what you thought it was going to be. I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. I just mean that use the concept of desire in this question, and maybe you realize maybe my desires are a little different. But it doesn't mean the job is bad. Doesn't mean the pay is bad. It's just yeah. And maybe it's just it gets the job done, and that's fine for you ultimately. Pun intended with that one. I'm almost done. Ooh, yeah, I totally. What I wouldn't give to get a work from home job. I had to drive from a work site this past like Thursday, and it was an hour and a half. Yeah, everybody's agreeing. You're gonna get the job that you look for. Feels like you'll start to see that come to fruition pretty soon. That's my goal. My 5-year plan is a work from home job. Ugh, the driving is horrible. I'm so sorry, guys. You okay? Okay. um all right guys, I think I made it through the queue. Oh my goodness. So there were like 15 of you guys today. There's twice as many as normal. Like, what's going on? Yes, the true head of the household, aka Luna, is demanding attention. So that is my cue to leave. So next week I'm traveling. I feel like that's my last trip of the year and I should be good. So I won't be on Friday, but I might do like an impromptu thing. I've been debating when I'm not on YouTube, maybe I'll do something like written type things on Discord. So, I don't know. I've been toying with the idea. Let me know what you guys think about that. But we'll see. We'll see. I have a dodgeball tournament, so I'm going to be burnt out anyways. But feel free, join my Discord. You can kind of like talk through different ideas with me. And oh yes, thank you. So we have our spoopy month live stream on the 20th. So we go live, Sil and I, Priscilla. We go live for oh gosh. Oh no. I might have to reschedule that now that I'm looking at the time. But regardless, I'll make sure to make an announcement. We do our tarot live streams where we talk tarot and divination and witchy stuff. So make sure you are subscribed to Priscilla as well so you don't miss out on that. And you can join us on Discord so you can see the latest updates. Alrighty. I am gonna head out, guys, and I will talk to you guys on the flip side. Right, Luna? Right. Alrighty, guys. Have a great night. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.